Hello everyone, this is HESCast here, back with some more Bronze League heroes! Spawning up in the top left side, it is going to be our blue Protoss player, Sprigan, or Sprigan, I don't know, maybe Sprigan, that one sounds kind of cool. And his opponent down the bottom right side, it is going to be SoS, not to be confused with the pro level StarCraft 2 player. This is the Bronze League hero level StarCraft player, which does not necessarily mean worse. It does not necessarily mean less entertaining, that is for sure. But I will say, in celebration of actually having a video up on my channel, I decided to cast a game where they have party hats on. I mean, look at that, look at those SCP little party hats. I wish that my party had those type of party hats. I feel like there's even post-it notes on the edge of those. And let's go ahead and take a look over here at the Probes party hats. There they are, looking pretty stylish. Not as festive, I would say, but more sophisticated, which I think is the perfect way to describe the Protoss race overall. But either way, where have I been? Well, it's been a lot of things going on. I've been taking care of personal life stuff. Also, I had a visit with my doctor, and they were like, Husky, you've got to stop sitting in a chair all day, every day, even when you're sleeping, and even when you're watching StarCraft. I'm like, all right. So I did get kind of tired of being completely unhealthy, so I have been working out a lot. Been working out about 4 days a week, and I've lost 11 pounds. Kind of excited about that. And overall, I just feel a lot better, much more energy. And when you have more energy, that is more time to watch esports. Speaking of watching esports, I've actually just been enjoying the gaming community. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, right? Hey, Probes, you better get back to work. Come on, guys. Come on. We got a show to run here. Remember, this is Bronze League Heroes, so you never know quite what to expect, where we like to cast the very best of the very worst. And, of course, Bronze League Heroes is to remind you that StarCraft is a fun game. Go out there and play, which kind of actually ties into my previous point. I've actually been able to just take a step back and enjoy the gaming community for what it is. I've been watching esports events for both StarCraft and many other games. I've been playing lots of games, both StarCraft and other games, and have really just been kind of enjoying gaming again. And, you know, I've always kind of said on my YouTube channel that I'm basically going to do what I enjoy. This kind of throws back to growing up playing games where I played lots of different games. And StarCraft was always kind of one of the main games that I played. But I always played things like Counter-Strike. I always played things like Team Fortress Classic. I always played things like Age of Empires. I played all sorts of games, and I had an N64, had a Super Nintendo, had an NES, had a Game Boy, and had the Sega one as well. Was that Game Gear, man, with a battery life of literally -minutes, and have really, in all honesty, just been enjoying life. I've been taking care of myself physically. I've actually been getting more than 10 minutes of sun a day, which my doctor was like, Husky, you got to get more sunlight. You literally have 0 vitamin D in your entire system. That is not good. Get out there and do stuff. So I have been doing that. And also taking care of my voice. For a while there, my voice was actually getting surprisingly weak. And it's one of those things where I want to be able to cast games for a long time. So I was taking care of my voice as well. And really just been kind of taking care of life stuff. So I know it's been a long time between games. I know it's been a long time between casts. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to risk my own health and just cast games for the sake of casting them. I've never done that. I've always enjoyed absolutely every single video that I've made. And there's always lots of videos that I don't end up releasing just because I didn't really think that they were fun. I don't think they were genuine. So either way, for now, going to be casting this game here. We'll see what the future holds. But I want to thank all of you on Twitter, Facebook, getting so many nice messages from everyone. Also, a lot of you thinking that I have actually died, which that is a very valid concern. I hope that I don't die, so I definitely appreciate that. And hope that all makes sense. Just kind of taking care of myself. You know, I am getting a little bit older. I may not be the super hippest person on the block anymore, but that's okay. I figure, like, you know, I might as well start working out now so I don't end up being a big blob. I don't want to be a blob. So I do love the movie The Blob, though. If I could be that blob, that would be pretty sick. Surprised they never remade that movie. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about our game right now. We do have the Marines going to go ahead and move up the ramp. And actually, the Zealots there able to... Are they actually going to kill us off? I mean, it's going to be close either way. As Marines normally want to try and kite them around. That last Zealot is pretty low, trying to use that micro. But unfortunately, keeps targeting the one with full HP. There we go. Finally going to be targeting that one down. Still a surprisingly close battle over here. As the Zealot, though, managing to be pretty cost-effective. 400 resources lost to 200. And I do hear more buildings warping in the main base, and that's when you know it's an awesome game. It's got to be 3 cannons inside the main base. I think that's 3. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3. I haven't forgotten how to count. which is actually kind of a shocker to me. I figured that, you know, I'm not casting StarCraft games, so I can't count. We do have a mothership core going to be chilling out over here. This would actually be quite useful back at home. But this is going to be an early on aggressive Bronze League Heroes game, which is not something that we see very often. But we do see a defensive play here from Sprigan. He's got those 3 cannons down. That one zealot, I think he has a couple of kills. Yeah, up to 4, but eventually going to go down, getting one more. Oh my god, is that Marine going to die? He almost microed himself into death, which kind of feels like when I'm playing StarCraft 2. I feel like I always micro, and it just ends up hurting myself when I should have just A-moved. But either way, the one Marine still alive, trying to find a sweet spot here to begin harassing this location. Does get shot in the face with a cannon, bringing him down to 25 HP. And does look at the probes right there. They're having a convention at the pylon. Unfortunately, not actually chasing that Marine. This Marine is going to go down. Not the most valiant death. That's the type of death where maybe the military is just going to send a vaguely worded email back to the family. Don't really explain like he died valiantly on the battle fighting probes. He did die to probes. I'm sorry. Probably don't want to tell the family about that. We did have the motion core down here, though. Gonna be delaying any sort of mining right now, as these SCVs unable to make anything happen. It is actually up to 8 kills here. There's gonna be the time warp. The Marines decide to run for no reason. Why are they running out of it? It does not affect your attack speed. You might as well just, what are you doing? Stay under the time warp. That's gonna let the motion core get 1 or 2 last kills there, as the Marines could have easily cleaned that one up. But for now, I feel like SOS has definitely overextended. He definitely needs to get these workers back to work. Although, to be fair, he does have 1,000 resources here, so these workers can afford to take a siesta. But for now, they are just going to chill right there. There they go, getting back to work. Both these players are going to be hovering lots of minerals. And I got to say, this is why I love Bronze League Heroes, because I know there's some of you at home right now who are grumbling about how bad the gameplay is. And to me, that's what makes it the best, is the Void Ray right now trying to just, I guess, not even escape. He's just a risk taker there, only taking 2 hull damage, though. So by the time that Void Ray actually makes it out across the map, we'll have a substantial chunk of those shields back. You can see right there, it's already at 20% there. I feel like we're watching some Star Trek, man. Shields are holding. They're at 20%. Hull integrity decreasing. I don't know. They say that in like... I wonder if there's a video on the internet where they take every time they mention their shields and put it into one video. It'd probably be like 8 hours of content alone. But we do have the Marines. Got to go ahead and move on up here. There are those 3 cannons, of course, protecting that very important Stargate. Marines, this is not a battle you can win. Join the Marines, they said. Die to cannons, they said. I guess that's the part they don't tell you on the application. Right now, though, the Void Ray has managed to make itself in a pretty good spot right here, as it's going straight for the Mule. Unfortunately for him, they're about to time out. He is not aware of that, though. Is going to go ahead and activate that prismatic alignment. Doesn't really do anything versus the workers. The Marines as well do not take extra damage from that. Only armored units are going to be taking that substantial damage. And it does look like the SCV over here, man. He's just hiding out. He's just like, all right, you know what? I don't want to do anything, as I'm just going to die. If I go in that mineral line, I'm going to get killed. We'll keep an eye on him, though. And actually, he is going to build a refinery. He's hoping he can hide out in there for as long as possible. Right now, SOS hoping that he can just hold on with Marines for as long as possible. And that is exactly what he's going to be doing here. We do have an Oracle right now for Sprigan. Curious to see if this Oracle is actually utilized correctly, because remember, with the Oracles, it does take a little bit of micro to, number 1, keep them alive, but number 2, you do actually have to activate that pulsar beam, which I feel like, considering the micro we've seen thus far, that could prove to be a challenge. Marines right now still hanging out over there. We do have a base in the center of the map, despite the fact that there is a perfectly healthy base right here, which I guess is blocked by his own supply depot. So the base placement may not be the best, but that's okay. That's okay, because we fully support the attitude. He is at least trying to expand, at least trying to make something of his life. While back over in Sprigan's base, he is adding on an additional 3 cannons. Gonna bring the total up to 7? 7 cannons, it looks like, here for the defense, which I gotta say, that's not a bad defense versus Marines. It's gonna take almost an unlimited amount of Marines to actually be able to kill off all those cannons. Now, I will say, though, that SOS has finally cut into those resources and decides to expand over in the top right side. Basically, almost as close as he can get to his opponent's base is where he is deciding he wants to set up shop. I will say, though, he was a little bit behind, but with these bases on the way, he could actually get back in this. He could actually find himself in a pretty comfortable position, though he needs to learn how to make something other than Marines. I know Marines are fun. I know they're easy to make, but you have to eventually go away from this. We have missile turrets coming on down as well. And I gotta say, though, currently it's basically tier 1 versus tier 1 with a random Void Ray and a random Oracle thrown in. We don't actually have Warp Gates either, and it's not even on the way. So this is the Bronze League Heroes game to end all Bronze League Hero games. I gotta say, this is my absolute favorite type of game to cast, as I used to be here. This was me. I used to be this player, and I like to look back and say, man, how far I've come now that I'm in Gold and Platinum, right? Am I right? Am I right, guys? Probably not. Probably not right at all, but we do have the cannons right now. And actually, I gotta say, this defensive arc right here with these cannons is enough to kill off these Marines quite easily. If this army moves out, I'm actually not sure who wins this battle. There is no stim pack. Down goes the Oracle. Like I was saying, does take a lot of micro there to keep it alive. The Marines right here refusing to even understand what micro is, and sometimes you don't need to. Does look at the Marines gotta be moving forward. They gotta take out the bunch of core as well. Can they take out the Void Rays? It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. It looks like the Void Rays will go down again. That prismatic alignment, while it does look pretty, it does not necessarily do anything. We are at equal supplies right now, though. 29 literally to 29. Gotta cut that a little bit once he kills off that one last zealot. But this is basically a tied game. Resources lost, though, is way more for Sprigan. And remember that Sprigan also has not expanded. He also has a lazy probe right here, which is following all the others. Actually, he's just following one. He's kind of a creepy stalker right now. But I gotta say, SOS still pumping out those Marines. However, he has figured out how to build a factory, which is also in the top right side. I feel like we're watching an easy AI, and we also have the missile turrets on the way as well. Got to be preventing, I guess, those non-existent Void Rays from harassing that mineral line. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what Sprigan comes up with, because Zealots off of non-warp gates with no other support is probably not going to be enough to end up winning this game. But for now, the suspense shall build. SOS does have all those bases, but are they saturated? If you want to call one SCV saturated, I guess you could say this one is saturated. And the one down here, what do we got? One SCV. All right, so he's doing a very deliberate one command center to one SCV tactic here as far as his economy there. And you know what? I'll take it. He's currently in the lead, although the supplies tell a different story, as they are basically identical. We do actually have a siege tank on the way and a starport. Oh, I love this game. This game just makes me feel happy. This game makes me feel like I just love StarCraft. It's just so cute. They're just expanding wherever he would like, and I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this quite a lot. We do have the add-ons coming up right now. This barracks trying to figure out how to do his add-on, but unfortunately, he does have kind of that nosy barracks over there, that nosy neighbor that just lives a little bit too close. Unfortunately, unable to expand on his own property, as we do have more zealots on the way. Lots of zealots queued up. There's going to be the Oracle once again. I don't think that mass zealot is actually going to be enough right here. The siege tank, though, might actually make these Marines melt away. There you see it. The splash damage, pretty intense right now, as somehow the mothership core goes down. But guess what? So does the rest of the army. Those zealots going to be able to clean that up. This Marine right here, I hope that you are Rambo. I don't remember when Rambo got sliced in half in his movie, so I don't think he is Rambo. But so far, the positioning right there for both players, not really the best, but hey, I feel like Sprigan learned to just auto-attack. It is the Protoss way to victory. He is learning at such a young age. He shows so much potential right now, but we do have the Zealots going to go ahead and move on out in their little hit squad to try and make something happen. Still a pretty close game here. This command center is like, why the hell did we expand here? He's going to go ahead and relocate himself. He can't decide where to move, though. He's checking Zillow, seeing what the property values are at, and decides that he is going to move into this part of town, which unfortunately is a dangerous part of town. I mean, look at this. We got hooligans headed that way. Actually, the hooligans might find it right when it lands there, depending on which route they decide to take. For now, though, they're just going to go ahead and sit down here. Look at this. They're just being trouble. They're skateboarding. They're smoking the Mary J. These guys are trouble, and we'll see if they decide to ramsack this place down here. But for now, they're just hanging out. And the Oracle right now, this is kind of the helicopter bomb who's like, Billy, who are you hanging out with, Billy? Who are these friends over here, Billy? You're better than this, Billy. Why is his name Billy? Who names their kid Billy these days? And then somewhere out there, a Billy just weeps a single tear. But we do have right now, the Zealots going to go ahead and move on in. And the hooligans, man, they are going straight to town as they take out those two SCVs. God, he doubled the amount of SCVs he had there, too. There's going to be the liftoff. I got to say, though, Sprigan being surprisingly resilient. We do have this base kind of up and running now. I mean, we do have more SCVs being produced. We got siege tanks in position. We also have the mules going to be mining it out. So is it going to be where he sacrifices his main base and then he has to build on the top right side? I honestly don't know. I don't think it's going to be a base race, though, because the Marines are actually in a more defensive position. And here we go. Another Oracle bites the dust. I feel like his Oracle control is top 100% or bottom 100%, depending on how you want to look at the Marines out here. He's finally learned how to micro, has actually run them into a choke point here, which is actually not good for the Zealots here. So beautiful play by SOS. I feel like he just looked up strategies on how to win as Terran literally mid-game. He was looking up those strategies right now because he is a whole new man and able to clean up these zealots. These zealots ain't got nothing. If only Billy would have listened, he would have not have ended up dead. God, I feel like we have a Broadway play in the making, but we do have actually stim pack on the way. Do we have combat shields, though? That's the real question. No, we don't. No Marauder tech on the way. He's just sticking with those Marines. I feel like he really did look up a strategy on how to win because Marine tank. That is always the answer. Always the answer to any conundrum that you can find yourself in. More hooligans, though. I love how I've officially renamed the Zealot into the Hooligan. Hooligan's going to move on down here, and we do have the Ursadak calf. He is relatively safe, though. I don't think... Wait. Is he going to kill that? Oh, no, he's not. He is not. Can you imagine being an animal where your eyes are on your lower jaw? I feel like every time you, like, coughed up something gross, it would just go right in your eyes. That does not seem very practical, but I'm sure there's some species out there that is like that in real life. But for now, more Marines on the way, but more medevacs on the way to keep these Marines alive. And I will say that medevacs assisting against Zealots is actually pretty good. You know, medevacs assisting Marines against Colossus or Psystorm, maybe not as useful, but when they're going against the Zealots, they just don't do splash, they don't do damage fast enough, and the medevacs can actually keep them alive as long as he uses the attack command and not the move command. But for right now, SOS right here is up to, I think, an astounding, earth-shattering 6 SCVs right now, as we do have 55 supply to 65. I will say, overall, this has been a surprisingly action-packed Bronze League Heroes. A lot of times in Bronze League Heroes, you'll just see either a base race or you'll see kind of basically sitting back and turtling and then just kind of throwing your armies at each other. But for now, we actually see an attempt at being aggressive. The siege tank's in a pretty good spot, but that is just a lot of Zealots. They need to not attack the buildings and instead go straight for the tanks. Tank up here does manage to get 1 kill. It's not going to be enough, though. I don't even know if he's going to get 2. Can he save it? He's got to try to. Nope. Nope. It definitely got to 0 HP. Not even close. Got to lift off all these buildings. And these Zealots, they are getting a leg workout. They're like me, man. I've been running a mile every 4 days a week, and I feel like these Zealots have been feeling the same way. But unfortunately, I do not get the Zealot speed leg upgrade. That would be kind of awesome if I had that in real life, but not quite yet. The technology is just not there. We do have this base over here. Going to go ahead and land, as this is just kind of ring around the rosy with bases, just lifting them off and kind of landing the musical chairs almost. This is a lot of Marines, though. This is a surprising amount of Marines. SOS has made nothing other than siege tanks and Marines. I kind of like this kid. I want to bring him under my wing to train him in the ways of massing Marines, but at the same time, we have Zealot Void Ray. So essentially, just two straightforward builds are continuing to stick with it. This is a lot of medevacs now, and we could actually see some pretty sweet medevac action. There we go, activating that prismatic alignment at a time that it is actually valuable to try and kill it off. It does look like, though, that you got too cocky with it, kid, and ended up actually losing that Void Ray. Oh, the move command! The move command! Anything but the move command! There it is! He's got to try and microwave. The medevacs here trying to heal as best they can. I don't even know if these Marines can burn through this. They do have that +1 attack, but the move command, the demise of Bronze League players everywhere, as even a Void Ray could be joining this. I think he needs to load him up. I don't think he's going to, though. Actually, can these Marines survive? They have individual medevacs healing them, and the Void Ray is going to go down. All of a sudden, this army being very cost-effective. Once you get rid of those just extra units that can't be healed, I mean, who needs a large army? Just go for that very, very teeny army. I will say, though, Sprigan is actually in a lot of trouble. He's trying to get this base up and running. He does have probes mining gas. What he really needs is going to be those minerals, as 3 Void Rays out now. That's not enough, I think, to even take on this many Marines. I mean, maybe it is, just they do have that +1 attack plus stim now. No combat shields. I believe he still doesn't have that. Maybe we'll see the combat shields at around the 30-minute mark if this game continues as it is currently. The probes are going to go ahead and move down here, but unfortunately, it's only when he's mined out in his main base that he decides to go ahead and mine down there. So not really increasing his income. It's more just maintaining the income that he already had. So we'll see if that pays off for him in enough ways. But for now, the Void Rays here are going to go ahead and take out that Orbital Command. He does still have 1 more base to deal with. These Void Rays, though, they've got to get out of here. They're not going to be able to kill off those Marines. Does he decide to retreat? Yes, he does. He decides that, you know what, killing that off was worth it. And I think the angle is actually good here, as he is continuing to keep these alive. No, don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around. Well, actually, both players shouldn't turn around. I feel like the Marine should give chase, and the Void Ray should be running. Does get 2 medevacs for his efforts, but I feel like losing the 3 Void Rays was probably not worth it, especially now that 65 supply to 27. This is not looking good for Sprigan. These Marines, though, taking a bunch of drugs to try and run out across town, and I think there's actually no units left. There's only 3 Zealots. They're all queued up in the same gateway, though, and nothing else is on the way. I think that's actually going to be it, and it may not be the most explosive ending, but I still quite enjoyed this, as they had little party hats on, at least, and you cannot argue with party hats, you guys. But either way, hope you guys enjoy this. I imagine that Sprigan is going to be leaving the game here in just a moment. He is at 16 supply. And that is to the 69. Hoi, hoi, hoi. No GG there. I personally felt it was like an awesome game. But anyways, thanks again, you guys. Hope you guys enjoy. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.